office on Manhattan's East Side, and I'm looking out my window. And do you notice that building up there? That's the building where the Jeffersons used to live, y'all. You remember the Jeffersons, George and Wheezy, that successful 70s sitcom? Well, I started wondering, what are George and Wheezy doing now? And all of those funny Jefferson characters. So I said, why don't we find out today? Come on, let's go. Hey, aren't you Ralph, the Jeffersons doorman?
Why, yes, I am.
You know, I was wondering about George and Wheezy. Do they still live here?
Well, I haven't seen them since the show went off the air in July of '85, but I'd sure like to see them. You know, I have a couple of kids in college.
Oh, I watched the show, Ralph. Here's your 20. Look who's there. Oh, it's Wheezy and George. How are you? I'm Rolonda. I do a talk show here, and I see your building outside of my office.
Oh, yeah? Well, at last, somebody is coming here to get us out.
I was dying to do a reunion show. There's Florence and Tom.
Hey, I heard we're going to do a reunion show.
You did, and you know, we've got great food. We're going to do the
You're going to have food, too?
Let's go. We've got a limo waiting for you.
I knew you were going to say your line.
Come on. I'm so happy to see you guys. Listen, how many people in here actually remember the Jeffersons? How many folks? Let me hear. I know everybody. It's amazing. It ran for 11 years. Absolutely. And I can't think of another sitcom that has run that long. Maybe Cheers might have beat it out, but I think that's about the only show. I've been having a good time with the Jeffersons today. I am so thrilled to have found the Jeffersons for this reunion show, but for those of you who don't remember George Jefferson, well, he was that bigoted, opinionated, rags-to-riches businessman in the groundbreaking television series, The Jeffersons. It was extremely controversial, you might say, but gave many of us a great belly ha-ha. Many laughs. George was identical to Archie Bunker, you might say, of All in the Family. There was just one difference between them. George was a black bigot, Archie was a white bigot. In fact, the Jefferson character started on All in the Family and soon became a successful spin-off. From 1975 to 1985, it was a top 20 television hit. Let's see why.
You are not going to close down?
Weezy, now why would I do a stupid thing like that? I mean, you gotta have faith in people. I mean, just because a few people do something wrong, you ain't gotta punish everybody. Weezy. You got to learn to trust people.
Oh, George, I love you.
Now, wonder how much it's going to cost with steel-plated walls and iron bars.
Oh, that George. Please welcome Sherman Hemsley and Isabel Sanford, everybody. Oh, come on in. Come on in. Oh. I love you guys. You know, we've been in the back just gabbing, and they're just like Wheezy and George were on the show. They're just going back and forth. 11 years. What a run that was. One of the longest that I think we've ever seen in a sitcom.
We just don't hold a job long.
You know, it's funny because I remember that your character was just written on in All in the Family was just written for a couple of little stints. They wanted to make sure that Lionel was seen having a mother.
Just for one episode.
Just for one episode.
Yeah.
And they loved you. Is it the public that loves you or the producers who make those decisions?
Well, at that particular time, I think it was the producers because the public didn't know me that well.
Wow. What a tremendous show.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy doing it? Did you have as many laughs as we did as we watched the show, sitting at home with the family around the tube?
I loved it, yeah.
Every Wednesday when we read the script, we are dying laughing. Fresh script every Wednesday.
Great writers.
Yeah, you seem a little mischievous. You know, what I got to know of you today, you seem a little, me? Who, me?
I just came out of the makeup room. He said, when are you going to get your makeup on?
Oh, no.
He always does that to me. When are you going into makeup?
I would think that as characters, when you play a role together as husband and wife for that long, there's got to be some kind of union, some kind of bond that happens between you. Can you tell me a bit about your relationship off screen?
Well, it seems like now we are really married, because every time we turn on, we're doing something together.
I keep thinking they're trying to make, because we are called as guests together on different shows, Abbott and Costello, I'm trying to make another. Yeah, I said we are teamed together like a comic team. Yeah. You know?
And what were some of the things you had to really adjust to? Because you're two very big personalities. What's the toughest thing about working with Isabel?
I really can't. It was no problems. The toughest thing?
I mean, what's not to love?
Oh, come on. Surely there was something. Did you ever have any problems backstage, or was it all one big happy family?
She's always complaining about me eating all the time, right? Chewing.
Whenever we had food scene, you know, with food, they always have to come. What do you want to eat, Sherman? What do you want to eat? Because he really eats. He really eats, yeah.
You were the only one in the cast who actually won an Emmy, is that right?
Yes.
Yes, and then nominated 3 years thereafter.
I was almost like Susan Lucci.
Yeah, true.
I want that Emmy!
I mean, they kept I almost didn't show up that time. I said, why? I mean, I'm nominated, and that nonsense about I'd rather be nominated. I love to be nominated is just, well...
In other words, she wanted to win.
I want to win. I mean, if I'm nominated, I want to win.
That's right.
And after 6 or 7 times, come on.
I know. I was nominated for an Emmy, too, and I agree with you. I had some friends, we were looking at the Emmys the other night, and my friend looked at me and said, if you ever get nominated again, don't give that line about how happy you were to be nominated. You want that Emmy!
That's just full of crap. No. And when they say, and the winner is Jane Doe, whoever. I meet Jane Doe coming down the aisle. I'm going up the aisle. I leave immediately.
Oh, God. Sherman, did you feel the same way when you were nominated for that Emmy?
Well, that was, I just sort of figured I wasn't going to win.
Why did you say that?
Because I just felt that way. I just knew.
Well, I'll tell you what. Your show was number 26 of the most popular series of all times. Folks, that's beating Dick Van Dyke, that's beating My Three Sons, and even beating Seinfeld. Well, who portrayed the housekeeper on The Jeffersons, who everyone loved? Well, except for George Jefferson over there. And what was her full name? Can anybody remember her full name? Well, wait till we come back. We're going to meet Florence in just a minute, and the man back there says he knows the last name. We'll be back in a minute, everybody.
George, I refuse to help you make a fool of yourself.
Oh, he don't need no help with that.
Florence, where's the shrimp?
Weezy!
Sounds like he's in the bedroom.
Do you folks mind if I ask you something?
No, go right ahead.
You live in this apartment, right?
Uh-huh.
And you got an apartment in this building, too?
Yes, that's right.
Well, how come we overcame and nobody told me?
The queen of the one-liners, honey. She always had me in stitches. It's the Jeffersons reunion today on Rolonda. We've been speaking to Sherman Hemsley and Isabel Sanford, who were Wheezy and George in the 11-year running wonderful, wonderful sitcom, The Jeffersons. Now we're going to talk about Florence. Now, her part was very small, but she soon became a very integral character in the series. When you think of The Jeffersons, you can't forget those one-liners by Florence like we just saw. She was the Jeffersons' maid. And somebody up here said you could this was the trivia question of the day. Come on, this gentleman stood up and said, I know the full name. What was her full name?
Florence Johnston.
Florence Johnston. You know something? You're right. So why don't you say, please welcome Marla Gibbs. That's her real name.
Please welcome Marla Gibbs.
Come on out. Thank you, sir. Very good. Oh, there she is. You know something, you are